Welcome back to
Wish You Love Podcast.
I'm Jazmine.
And I'm Marilyn.
And thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Wish You Love Pod.
Okay, so we're going to start off this episode with our ins and outs. So comment down below your ins and outs if you're on Spotify or if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, you can definitely just comment it on our latest Instagram post, like my in and out is of this month, and just let us know. We love to hear from you.
Yeah. And this is also for our new listeners. We do this once a month, and it's just to kind of be engaged with each other and like see like what changes in terms of in and out.
Right.
So I'll go ahead and kick us off for today. So my current in, and you guys are going to laugh, but it is what it is. My current in is my Owala water bottle.
Oh, Karen put you on.
Yes. So one of my really close friends, she put me on Owala. I always had it, but I never really used it. And now as I have water goals that I want to meet, I'm like, okay, this is what I should just use. And so I have been using that more often now. So that's definitely my in. My out would be these water bottles. I have one water bottle today, but that's because I'm not feeling so well. So I kind of just want to drink it and recycle it. But that is my out. I'm really trying to not use plastic water bottles anymore and just use my Owala. And yeah.
You know what? You're good at you put me on, because I will say, so because I lecture for hours every single day of the week, I take 2 water bottles. And so each class I use one minimum. And so I constantly am going through water bottles, and I never used to do that before, but I'm like, damn, I need water. But you're right. I need to just get a good, I think I have one. I have to look through my stuff, but get a good water bottle and just fill it up instead of using a disposable water bottle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're putting me on.
But we do save the planet here. I do recycle. So I don't just throw it away, or I don't just throw it in the trash.
I feel bad, though, because I'm like, what really happens,
Right. But I will say that is definitely my new in. I wish I brought it, but it's in my car.
Okay.
You'll see it.
Yeah, on the story, you'll post it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's cute. She's a cute little Owala bottle.
I love it.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay, you're putting me on. Okay, so my in for work is that I used to do a full face of makeup. Not like how I normally do my makeup, but simple but full face of foundation. But now my in is I only do my eyebrows and my eyes. And I put just concealer underneath. So it's literally just like raccoon, just right here. Just the mask area, And even my lips, sometimes I'll keep it clear gloss. It's just because I want something quick for work, but I still want to look professional. I try to get ready. So that's my in, because I'm like, okay, cool. This is just so fast. I don't have to put on blush. I don't have to put on foundation. It's just so much faster. So yeah, so that's been my in. And I think my out, okay, so it's a weird out, but you guys know how in about April time, I was on a calorie deficit every single day. So my out is doing a calorie deficit every single day. So I kind of didn't do it for months up until the last week of September. I started back up. And so pretty much.
You were in Hawaii, right?
Yeah,
I remember.
And then I just
that kind of changed because you were on vacation.
Yeah, and then I just never got back onto it. I was kind of just, at this point, I was there was a point in September where I was eating a donut. I was eating just kind of being a little sloppy with my food choices. And I don't have a lot of time to work out because of my impacted work schedule. So I was like, you know what? So my new thing is Monday through Thursday, calorie deficit. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is just, I'm not going to binge eat or anything, but it's just normal, normal days. So my out is doing it every day because that was my expectation for myself. And I'm trying to not be so hard on myself. So that's my out, is every single day, strictness.
Yeah. And I love that because I feel like you are a type of person to be really strict and hard on yourself. So the fact that you're kind of giving yourself a challenge and a grace, I love that.
Even the grace is a challenge for me. But yeah. And it's been great so far. I mean, it's totally doable. It's just for the calorie deficit, I measure everything so that it does take a little bit time, like when I'm trying to hurry up for work and I'm like measuring my ketchup.
Yeah.
But it works. And I feel accomplished at the end of the day when I'm below my calories. So yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yay. Make sure you guys comment your ins and outs, like Marilyn said. Really curious to know if you guys
what
keep
they
up,
are.
like what they are, and if you guys keep up with ours. If you guys saw our Instagram story last month, I had posted on our story about I got a text message from one of my friends. Random, by the way. I'm like just minding my own business, like wasn't really on my phone or texting this person, and all I get is DCC, Diet Coke Club.
Diet Coke Club.
If you know, you know, and if you don't know, check out.
Then you don't know.
Previous episodes from last month, so that you can know what my in and out was for that month.
Every time I see Coke Zero, I think of you now. Like, that's even though that's like that was your out, but like I don't know, it just stood out.
Yeah. I've lessened it.
Yeah,
so I'm on the right track.
Okay,
guys,
good.
But definitely still, I have a pack of mini sodas, and
the minis are good. They're small.
Yes, they're small. So now what I'm trying to do is have one once a week.
Yeah.
Or twice a week.
Yeah,
1 to 2 a week at work.
That's good.
And then at home, obviously,
I
don't take them
1 to
home.
2 a week. That's good.
Yeah, and I don't take them home, so that way, like at home, it's like there's nothing in my reach.
That's really good. 1 to 2 a week's like nothing.
Yeah. So
I love
progress.
That. Yeah, no, for sure. Big progress.
For a while, like I said in the episode.
Every lunch.
Like every lunch.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are heading back into the book, The Gap and the Gain. So for this one, we're going to be talking a little bit about chapter 2. So chapter 2 is all about being self-determined. And so I'm going to read a quote from chapter 2 and just read a few things that this was about. And then, of course, let's chat about it. So it says, be self-determined, define your own success criteria, okay? The quote is by Anne Sweeney. Define success on your own terms, achieve it by your own rules, and build a life you're proud to live. I love it. Being self-determined means that you've made yourself the reference point rather than measuring yourself against something external. Your happiness as a person is dependent on what you measure yourself against. You measure your own gains rather than worrying about other people. And this is how you become self-determined. You have an internal reference point. You stop measuring yourself against others. You only measure yourself against yourself. And I love that. And something that I just kept thinking of, just like I had brought up when I was talking about the LA Marathon, is just run your own race. It doesn't matter if the person in front of you is going faster than you, or they, I don't know, maybe they're more fit than you, or how they look or whatever. Run your own race. It's you v you. That's what I always think. Like every time I go to the gym, because I'm a big runner, I'm always me v me, like me versus me. Like, okay, I got 32 minutes last time. Today I'm gonna try to get lower than 32 minutes. It's always that. Some people are like this, where they'll look at other people like, I'm only walking on the treadmill, look at her running. Like, no, it's you versus you. So I wanted to talk about that. And also, there were 2 questions within the book, and it was, what are the reference points you measure yourself against? And how do you define and measure success for yourself? So when I was reading, the first thing I thought about, of course, was work, because right now I'm just working so much that it's like my whole life right now. And something I thought of myself was that if I compared myself like to somebody with a doctorate degree, like I'm Professor Paiva, but I'm not Dr. Paiva. Like, comparing myself against something else, like, no, that would only take away my happiness of what I have accomplished. And so instead of even thinking like that, like, first of all, whatever you want, if that's what you want, go for it, number 1. Number 2, I am my reference point. So I think my level up was Miss Paiva to Professor Paiva. And so being self-determined and pushing myself to limits, but it's just me versus me. I'm not looking at other people with their doctorates, other people with 2 masters. I'm not looking at anything that's not myself. And then another thing that I think everybody constantly does, and I used to do this when I was younger, not anymore, but people often see relationships online and compare their relationship to their online relationship, and that only takes away from your happiness. Because first of all, I think hopefully we all know that online it's only a highlight reel, and for some people it's a liar reel, because some people freaking lie. Like they're like, oh, like my man's like, he's so good to me, and then he's like over here screaming at her, like making her cry every single night. And it's like, damn, like, and you over here, you have a good man by your side. Maybe he just likes watching TV, but hey, like he's a good man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you comparing yourself and taking away your guys' happiness, comparing yourself to other people? So defining your own, being self-determined on your own, like being determined of having a successful relationship, being happy where you are, and like all these things. So I just want to, this was more of like a conversation episode of like being self-determined. What does that mean for you? What is your reference point? And then I want to hear what Jazmine has to say, but I do have another question after that.
Really good. I'm glad that you brought up relationship, because I was like trying to reflect and I was like, what's a good example? And I totally agree. I think with relationships, that is often, especially nowadays with like social media and like what is posted out there and like certain things, like you do have, I feel like at least I am, or I was, definitely that whole mindset of, oh, like, just like, for example, like I know like when people post like, my man buys me flowers every single day. Every week I get weekly flowers, but it's like, okay, that's awesome. And then sometimes you take that into your own relationship. You're like, I don't get weekly flowers. Like, he doesn't love me. Like, why don't I get that? Like, oh my God, you start comparing yourself, bringing that into your relationship when oftentimes, one, yes, fake, like, right? Not all the time.
Not all the time.
But sometimes not real. Sometimes, like Marilyn said, the one highlight that they highlight.
Like, why did he get her the flowers? Did he cheat on her? And then he's like, I'm sorry. And then she posted, aw, like, you know, people
Weekly
do that.
flowers?
I know people. Weekly
Really?
flowers. Yeah. I know people, that's like their thing. Like, they fight and they give them flowers. And then they post about it and nobody knows they fought.
Yeah.
Right?
But you do now.
Well, what?
Like, but you do.
Oh, well,
like, you'll know.
Well, yeah, but like, what I'm saying is like, everybody else thinks that this guy is like amazing. But then like, but like, what were the flowers for?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And so it made me think of like situations like that. And then it made me think how like at one point in my relationship, like I would have like discussions with my my fiance, and like he would like let me know like, oh, like I don't get you that. It doesn't mean that's because I don't love you. It's just because blah blah blah. Or like, oh, like I didn't know that meant so much to you. Like, cool. Like I'll like start incorporate like having those conversations. And like you said, like, why am I focusing so much on other people's relationship or what is being posted online? Or I think right now in October, like if I don't get a spooky basket, I know that's like a huge thing, like where girls like literally will get upset if they don't get a spooky basket. But it's like really taking the time to like just focus on your own relationship, stay in your own lane. Like you said, us versus us, not us versus, you know, if Marilyn gets a spooky basket, I don't need to be like, Angel, I need a spooky, like, why didn't I, like, it's just, yes. Like, I think that's a really good mindset to start thinking and to have, and it's really just stay in your own lane.
Yeah.
Focus. What do they always say? Like, put your gears on where you're not really looking around. I think it's like what the horses use when they race. But yeah, like really just having that mindset, I think will definitely go a long way, because comparison is evil, and it does affect a lot in terms of relationships, mental health, development, self-development. It'll really bring people down when really it's just focusing on yourself, staying in your lane. And as referenced in the last episode, I think focusing on your gains and not on the gaps.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, like, even like, let's say you start working out with your best friend at the gym, you guys always go together and stuff, but maybe she's losing weight more than you, and you start comparing yourself. Hey, why am I not losing weight? Hey, why don't I have a body like that? Like, why am I not built like that? Like, why do I have to work out more and I still weigh more than her? You know what I'm saying? Why do I have to cut and she's not cutting and she's still seeing progress? You know what I mean? And so it's a thief of joy when you compare yourself to others. And also it does like flip a switch in your mind of how you see your friends or how you see your loved ones. And it's just not good. Like, you know, run your own race of like, hey, we're doing this together. I wish I was where you are, but I'm not, and that's okay.
And I think two examples that popped up in my head was, I think definitely the 5K was one of them. In the sense that like, you love running and you prep for runs and you love that. And it's like, I don't run and I don't do that like for fun and stuff. So that's like a good example where like easily can be, oh, I'm not fast like Marilyn, or I can't keep up like Marilyn. But really I should just be like, wow, go Marilyn. Like,
and go me
for doing it, go us for doing it together, regardless of the pace or where, you know, who finishes first or what pace or anything. It's just enjoying the journey and like focusing on the experience.
Exactly. That's what life's about. Everything. Even like me and my friends graduated from the same program, but we have different, you know, journeys of like where we're getting to, how fast we're getting there and stuff like that. And it's like, we have to be happy for each other and recognize where we are. And like you said, your reason for doing the 5K is different from me. Your reason for applying for this job is different than me. You know what I mean? Like we have different races. You know what I'm saying? Like the 5K for you, from my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just referencing from what you said in the 2024 episode, the first one. But this race for you was like, I've never done it before. Let me prove it to myself that I can, type of thing. Rather than I've done so many in the past where I'm like, now I'm like, damn, the last time I ran, I was 18 years old. I'm gonna try to beat myself how I used to be. Like I'm gonna try to see if little Marilyn still got it like she did back then, type of thing. We're running different races. And it's like, it's not okay to compare. Another one, perfect one, her engagement ring, like perfect example of like a friend can really turn into So about this. A friend could really turn into a hater.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, for example, like I've been with Anthony longer than Jazmine has been with Anthony, but you don't see me like,
I've been with
Anthony longer than I've been with Anthony longer than Jazmine has been with Angel, but you don't see me being like, well, why the F she have a ring? Why she like, don't compare your relationship with your friends. Like me and Denise were talking about like, where are you at with your relationship with the one that just got engaged? And you know, we have different journeys. Like you were already in your career 4 years or however long. When you graduated, what was that? 22? No, 2 years. 2 years out of graduating, you already established in your career. Different races.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like we have different timelines, different races. When you want to start having kids, may be different from me. And it's just like, be self-determined in what you want to do. Don't compare with what other people are doing. It doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm glad you mentioned engagement, because the second one that I was going to bring up was I think me right now, where I'm at in life right now in terms of wedding planning.
Yeah. So exciting.
So exciting. And I'm so like, you know, just excited and like really into it. But I think this is another area where oftentimes there is that comparison and there are haters and there is that like people commenting and whatnot. There's that comparison of, you know, so-and-so on social media, that influencer had flowers all around the you know, the church. Okay, cool. And then you have me being able to compare and be like, oh my gosh, like, am I going to afford that? Yeah. Like, how can I get all those flowers?
Mine's not going to be as great because I don't have that.
Right. Or you have other people. Like, I love my mom, love her to death, but she is so extra. And I think I get some of that from her, but it's very much so in the sense of like, well, I want you to have this because I know so-and-so had it. So I want you to have it. Like, I'm going to work for you. And I just like having like all these like
pressure.
People telling me what to do, social media, you know, kind of influencing me. And I think I'm really trying, and I hope that I'm glad that we're talking about this, because it's really one of those situations where like every wedding is so distinct. And like in terms of the dress, the colors, and whatever the case is, that there shouldn't be that comparison in terms of like which one was better or who got bigger ring, or so and so on TikTok had flowers here, so if I don't have it, I'm not gonna like, you know, be like that. Like, why compare and why like do that? Because ironically, or believe it or not, I do know someone in my life who kind of uses a social media influencer person to kind of like feed off of like what the person wants, if that makes sense. Like there's that comparison of if so and so did that, like I want to do it too. And it's just like you're not in your own lane. Then you're like you're not fulfilled. You're not in your own lane. You are just constantly comparing yourself to what's out there on social media. That everything that you do for yourself, it's not original. Yeah. And it's not you at the end of the day.
And you know, everything is so personal. Like everything, the race, your career, even what your ring looks like, your engagement, how it's so personal to you. So why would you want somebody else's? Yeah. That makes no sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hate running. Why the hell would you run as fast as I'm running? Mm-hmm. Why would you? You're going to be like, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Like,
and I love that you say that. We're going in the same direction and we're on the same journey.
We're finishing. We're going to finish.
Right. But you're right. Your purpose was so different from my purpose.
But we're doing it together, supporting each other. We're still getting the same medal. Yep. Just like the wedding. Like you and that are a random person. Let's compare. Like you're both, the purpose is that you're going to get married to somebody you love. You're both reaching the finish line. Yeah. It doesn't matter how you get there. Right. It's personal to you. Right. Right. If you want flowers everywhere and you can afford it, do it.
If you want can't, a court, I know a lot of people, like I had a coworker, you know, wedding talk again. Right. And he was like, yeah, like we didn't have enough money. So we just eloped and we had like a dinner at home. And like, I feel like he said it with like, kind of like, like, you know, like, yeah, like, oh, like I didn't. But in reality, it's like, it doesn't matter the party. It doesn't matter how many flowers you have. It doesn't matter how many people you have. The whole purpose is that you are just marrying your best friend and you want to start this commitment and this future with your person. And that's it. And that's right. That's the medal. That is the medal. The medal is, in the wedding situation, just getting married and starting your forever and that commitment with your person. The race, our medal, was just finishing the end, regardless of the time, regardless of anything. It was just the purpose. It was just getting that, you know, getting engaged. Like the purpose is just
to start the journey,
and not have the comparison.
And it doesn't matter when.
Yeah. How, where,
when, who.
Well, yeah.
What do you mean? Like, you mean like the person?
Yeah, the person.
I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. No, yeah, I love this conversation of being self-determined on your own path, of just not comparing yourself to others, because in the end, it just doesn't matter. And it goes with every single part of your life, even best friends. Never compare your relationship between your best friend with somebody else's best friend, because yours is just unique to you, you know, and if you want maybe to be closer to your best friend, then you can totally do that. That's so easy. Just spend more time together. But it's just so personal. Everything in your life is personal. That's why I think I get emotional when people start attacking me, because everything's personal to me. Mm-hmm. How I'm dressing, just because you dress down and I dress up, like, don't compare yourself to me. Like, I'm in my own lane right now. I'm feeling good. Don't make me feel bad because you feel bad. You know what I'm saying? We talked about that with the Rochelle episode.
Yeah. And, you know, I you're just triggering my brain right now to all these, like, thoughts. You're you're making it move.
Okay.
But I was going to share, like, you also bring up a good point in the sense that, like, the same way we need to stay in our own lane and just kind of focus on our own goals and like where we're at in life.
Yeah.
I think that also goes when like there will be people who will come and reach out. And I think it's also reminding yourself, like, not to, well, in my relationship, we do this, or I think you should do this because I did this. And that's how, like, you know, like not influencing other people as well to like be like you. Like let them stay in their lane, be there for support, for comfort, and for just to listen and be there, but not necessarily get them off track their lane as well.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I do have a question. So it says, what are the reference points you measure yourself against? So I had mentioned that something that I measure myself against, honestly, is people who have a doctorate. Yeah. I just feel like I'm not like top. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what's a reference point that you measure yourself against? That you're like, I shouldn't do that.
Body. Appearance. Yeah. Again, if you know, you know. Yeah. I will say that. Yeah. And if I'm getting personal here, couple episodes ago, maybe like a month or two at this point now, I had mentioned that I was starting a boot camp.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's right.
Results are not, I don't know why. I don't know what's happening.
Damn. Have you ever, and we can cut this if you want, have you ever went to the doctor and checked if you got PCOS? You do?
Want to look into that. Oh,
yeah.
Because
you should.
I really think there's something's
wrong.
Yeah. And I'm like,
it's very common for women.
So, but yeah, that's a good example of, in the sense where I'm like, I definitely haven't been
seeing in my what lane. You want to see.
Right. Which makes me not like, I'm still going and I'm still trying, but it's also like, I really don't know. Yeah.
No. So that's something too, because sometimes it's even bigger than you. The things that you're worried about, like that's bigger than freaking doctor. It's stupid. Like, you know, like sometimes it could be more serious underlying things, you know? So it's good to go to your doctor and get your blood tested and all that stuff. Yeah. But thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. I mean, it's not easy. Yeah. I kind of feel stupid saying something like doctor.
No, not I'm at like, all.
Damn, mine's not deep.
No, not at all.
Not me comparing. I'm just kidding. Okay, the next one. How do you define and measure success for yourself? Mine's dark as heck, but I want you to go first. How do you define and measure success for yourself?
I think when I take the time to reflect and look back. And that's how I'm like, okay, I'm
that's good. Super positive.
Yeah. I say this because I know recently, as we finished the 5K, as we were actually leading up to the 5K, I like have my vision board on my wall in my room. And I know that I look at it, and I really took the time to look at it, and it just amazed me that those were my achievements that I needed to achieve for this year. And I was just looking at them like, I was like, progress. check. So I think
it's great to see.
It made me feel like I haven't accomplished everything, and there's still work to be done. And next year, my vision board's going to be completely different. Right. But at least that's how I measured, like, I've had a successful year. Yeah. I've had a good year. Yeah.
And you know, I will say before I say mine, mine isn't as good as Jasmine, and not me comparing, just like seriously, it's like a dark thought that it's true though. But anyways, I just love having you as a friend because we're able to be very like we reflect a lot on ourselves, and like we're able to talk about things that may be like hard to talk about with anybody. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for my answer though, how do you define and measure success for yourself? Honestly, this sounds dark, but money. That's the only way I define success. Honestly. I'm gonna be very honest. Like, and
paychecks? Like when you get your paycheck?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So like if I'm getting paid 80 or above a year, I'm like, oh yeah, this is good.
Aside from anything else? Or is that just like one form?
Well, yeah,
one
for work.
Okay.
For work, yeah. But other things, I think this is just very honest. I'm very money driven. It's just who I am. And that's why I said it's a negative for people, because like being money driven can be seen as a negative. Like, oh, that's all you care about. Yeah. But I'm being very honest. Like, I am money driven. When I see like, oh, how much I'm making, I was like, not good enough. But to other people, that might be crazy good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah. You know? So that's something like I define like, if I get paid well, I'm like, I'm successful in my career. But also, I do understand, like, if you're like miserable, extremely stressed out, and you get paid like $200,000, that's not a successful life. You know what I mean? There's different. But I think that's the only dark one. Everything else, I think I have a healthy balance. Like, for example, well, actually, I don't know. I mean, even when I work out, I'm really about numbers, honestly. Because even when I work out, if I don't burn 600 calories, it wasn't that successful. I'm like, I did a light workout. It's like 500 calories I burned. And like to other people, that's like a lot.
Yeah.
Right? And so I need to be easier on myself. Like
you're reflecting right now.
No, yeah. I'm like, wait, hold up.
So you're in numbers. That's how you determine
success.
Numbers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even in the master's program, it was mandatory straight A's. But if on an assignment by assignment, if I got anything lower than an A, it was an F to me in my head. And my friend was always like, you're fine. You got a B. I was like, and I literally said, how did you get an A and I got a B? So mean. But but it's because that friend in particular, we're close, okay? But that friend in particular, he didn't even try. Yeah. And I put so much effort into mine. That's why I said that. I'm like, he's like, I don't know.
Staying in your lane, girl.
We all run in different races, clearly. No, yeah. But anyways, love you, Chris. That was Chris, my friend. Because he doesn't even try. He even asked to look at mine. So he looked at mine. It was a lesson plan assignment. He even looked at mine, did it that freaking day, I think. The day was due. And he got a freaking A and I got like a B. And I was like, what in the world? I was like, how did you get an A and I didn't?
Yeah.
I was so upset. But it's okay. But that's something that I'm reflecting on now, literally in this very moment of like, how do I measure success? It's numbers. It is. And I think what I need to make the switch to, and I don't know if I'm ever going to, that's going to be very difficult for me because I would be changing literally almost everything about myself, my whole personality. But I think the best thing to do is measure your success on how you feel, how happy you are. Like if I had a good workout, then that's a successful workout. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was 100 calories or 600. Like, that even hurts to say.
Yeah.
Like, no! Unless it's leg day. That's different, but I'm talking cardio. But, yeah. And, same thing with work. Like, if I enjoy it, it doesn't matter how much I get paid. I don't believe that. But
she's literally closing her eyes, you guys. So if you see on YouTube, you see her
But maybe also what I was telling my other friend who... she has a passion for teaching. I don't. And so I told her, I was like, that's the difference is I'm driven by something else than her. She's driven by passion. And so she's happy no matter what she gets paid. She's like, I'm just happy to be doing this. So I'm like, wow, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah. But if it was singing, I do feel that way. I do it for free. Because I'm like, I perform, that's a success. Because I'm passionate about that, though.
So maybe finding those little passions in everything.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe the type of workout, even. Maybe you'll find something that you will be not passionate, but like enjoy it most where it won't matter. Like
I think that's leg day for me. I count how many calories because I track everything. But that one, it doesn't matter because I know you can't burn calories as much as you would running or on the Stairmaster doing leg day. So that one, I don't monitor. I'm not like, how much am I running? Like I will literally try to burn 10 calories in 1 minute. No, yeah, that's how fast I'm running. I'm like, if I'm running and it's not going to the number, I'll push it harder. Seriously, I know I'm low-key insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I think we're realizing in this episode I'm just low-key too self-determined in that like it's gone too far of like, oh my gosh, like you're little nuts. Like you're pushing yourself too. Yeah. I think one day I burned working out. I did a full workout, like hardcore, like that cardio. And then after I did a hike. And so I burned like 1,100 calories. And that wasn't even just throughout the day. Plus throughout the day, that was solely working out.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was really good. It was a good day.
It's a good day.
But yeah, anything else on this topic of being self-determined?
No, I think it's just a lot of reflection.
Yeah.
Per usual. It wouldn't be a Wish You Love podcast episode
Without it.
if there wasn't that.
Yeah.
But no, I think really well said and good discussion.
Yeah. And remember, Jazmine and I being very vulnerable, her with, how her body image and then me with like how money hungry I am. Like that is very vulnerable for us to talk about. So please no judgment because we wouldn't judge you if we could hear you on the other end. And just remember, run your own race.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you guys leave feeling empowered and wanting to reflect. And feel free to send this to someone if you think they need to hear it.
Yeah.
Then they need to reflect on this topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And above all else, we wish you love.
Bye,
Bye, friends.